You got to remember that the Dallas Cowboys are already hesitant to pay him, but so much because you've given CeeDee Lamb $36 million. Now, you look at Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in Cincinnati combined, they got a salary where they're both costing Cincinnati about $65 million a year annually. Well, what's the situation going to be with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens? As a matter of fact, the Bengals are at $69 million. George Pickens' projected numbers are around $31 million. Well, you're about $31 million. You and CeeDee Lamb together is going to be at about $65, $66 million. And do you really, really want to pay that to two wide receivers? I would tell you yes, because you see how elite their offense has been for the most part, and you can't predict hurt or whatever. And you do have people out there thinking that George Pickens is really a number one that's better than the number one that is CeeDee Lamb. I'm saying it don't matter. Health and availability matters, but ultimately you got to go out there and you got to run those routes. And you got to run it with fervor and energy. You can't be perceived as lackadaisical. We saw Richard Sherman on Amazon Prime last night doing post game. He called out Pickens. He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying now. Sean, if we don't have that sound, get it. Listen to Richard Sherman and what he had to say about George Pickens after the game.
George Pickens throughout the game, especially late in the game, just looked uninterested in playing football. And that's what you can't have. If you're going to be a superstar, if you want to be the best receiver in the National Football League, you can never be disengaged. It doesn't matter if the game's going your way or not going your way. You can't just disappear in these games or else you're not going to have impact. And just right here, cruising routes. You're the guy. CeeDee Lamb is not in this game. He's out, and you get intercepted on your slant routes, and you can't be the guy and half-ass it. I'm sorry, that's just, you can't, it's unacceptable. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're looking at him and you're looking to pay him big-time receiver money, $40 million, you got to look at this tape and say, hey, is this a guy we can trust paying $40 million to show up regardless of circumstance? I don't know.
Richard Sherman is 1,000% correct. I mean, 1,000. There ain't a syllable or muttering he missed. He is 1,000% correct. And I don't want to hear about him disrespecting George Pickens. He did no such thing. He said, you're the guy. CeeDee Lamb, who was shredding Detroit secondary, had 6 catches for 121 yards before he went down in the third quarter. 6 receptions for 121 yards. He was destroying their secondary before he got hurt. He goes down. Richard Sherman says it. You're the guy. And it's your time. When did we really, really see George Pickens elevate? When CeeDee Lamb went down after suffering that ankle injury against Chicago that had him out for 3 games because the Dallas Cowboys stupidly had CeeDee Lamb lined up in the backfield and gave him the ball on a running play. I'm paying you $136 million. I'm paying you $136 million as a wide receiver. And I got you lined up in the backfield. You got to deal with defensive linemen and linebackers. The brother is just slightly bigger than me. You don't want to be subjected to that kind of hostility. What you want to do is you want to be in that secondary against free safeties and cornerbacks. That's what you want to do. You don't want to have to deal with linemen and linebackers with them ferocious brothers coming at you and you running out of the backfield. Why the hell would you put CeeDee Lamb in a running formation? Brian Schottenheimer. That was just dumb. And I like Brian Schottenheimer, but that was just a dumb move. He got hurt against Chicago because of it. He was out for about 3 weeks and 3 games because of that. And that is when George Pickens shined. That's when he shined. Well, last night was another one of those moments where he had an opportunity to do exactly the same. And from the moment that CeeDee Lamb went down, Pickens was targeted 5 times. He caught 3 passes for 22 yards. 3 passes for 22 yards. In a second half of an absolute must-win game against the Dallas Cowboys. Come on, bro. You got to do better than that. Because your skills demand it, because you are better than that. And he was very lackadaisical in this route running. Now, he had an explanation, and I'm sure we have that sound showing. He had an explanation. Second, But his explanation ain't going to hold water. I can tell you that in advance. Because the game meant too much. It mattered too much. And most importantly, let me give y'all a lesson on contract negotiations. Hear me and hear me good. I don't give a damn who you are. I don't care how influential you are. I don't care how successful you are. In the world of business, those who are assigned dominion during a negotiation over someone else, meaning you're the one with the money to offer, is always looking to give you less than what you want. It's understood. It's understood. Stephen A. Smith, he signed his contract. He got this. I've been in the business for over 30 years. I'm 58 years old. I've been in the business since I was 23, 24 years old. I have never gotten everything I wanted during the contract negotiation. Ever. It's never happened. Why do they say to you, have representation? The worst negotiator is the one that's negotiating on their own behalf, because you're going to hear things you don't want to hear. You ain't trying to hear what you want to hear or what you want them to hear, because that's not their objective. Their objective is to make sure they don't pay you as much as you want, because everybody's trying to curb spending. Everybody's got a budget. You know, the Dallas Cowboys, you don't think Jerry Jones is looking at Dak Prescott? I had to give him that money because he's the quarterback. That's why I had to give him $60 million. Nobody else, I had to do that. Micah Parsons is gone essentially over $5 million. CeeDee Lamb took months to get his bag. Jerry could have signed him to that months earlier. He held out. Why? He was trying to hope something to happen so he could give him less. What do you think he's doing with Pickens now? Jerry Jones still brings up stories about how he took over the Cowboys and he had not one, not two, but $3 billion lawsuits against him. How he lied every day to the bank in getting loans, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and he didn't know whether or not he was going to survive. And his wife and his family thought he was going to harm himself because of how dire of straits he was in financially. Jerry Jones is worth $16 billion. $16 billion. The Cowboys are worth $13 billion. And Jerry Jones is talking to you about how it hurts him to pay millions. It's who they are, it's what they do. Let me tell you another quick story real quick. Remember that whole Kaepernick thing that was going down years ago? Taking it of the knee, the president hijacking the narrative.
Welcome back to Cowboys Nation Report, where passion meets truth and where every heartbeat of this franchise is felt across Cowboys Nation. Today, we turn our focus to a name rising fast on draft boards, a defender whose tape has ignited conversations in war rooms and scouting departments across the league. Georgia linebacker C.J. Allen has emerged as one of the most complete defensive prospects in the 2026 NFL Draft, and his potential fit with the Dallas Cowboys is becoming too compelling to ignore. As this Dallas defense continues to battle inconsistency through the 2025 season, and as the roster tries to reclaim the bite it once had, Allen represents something this team desperately needs: range, instinct, discipline, and leadership at the heart of the defense. The Cowboys' recent 44-30 loss to the Detroit Lions was a stark reminder of ongoing issues. Despite having one of the most explosive offenses in the league, Dallas has struggled to slow opponents when it matters. Missed assignments, late reactions, and lack of sideline-to-sideline speed at linebacker have repeatedly put this team in difficult situations. Kenneth Murray's struggles in coverage have been glaring. Logan Wilson hasn't fully gained the staff's trust, and while DeMarvion Overshown and Morris Lufau show flashes, the consistency simply isn't there. The truth is unavoidable. Dallas needs a new centerpiece in the middle of its defense. Enter C.J. Allen. At Georgia, Allen has built a reputation as one of the most instinctive and athletic linebackers in the country. His acceleration through gaps, his natural feel for diagnosing plays, his fluidity in coverage, and his consistent tackling form make him one of the cleanest linebacker prospects in recent years. Jacob Infante's latest mock draft has the Cowboys selecting Allen with their second first-round pick, and it's easy to understand why. He brings the kind of range and intelligence that modern NFL defenses are built around. His sideline-to-sideline pursuit would immediately elevate Dallas's ability to defend stretch runs, scrambling quarterbacks, and the crossing route game that has given this team trouble all season. Imagine pairing Allen with Overshown, creating a fast, aggressive, instinctive linebacker duo capable of covering ground that Dallas has struggled to defend for years. Add Morris Lufau and Shamar James rotating situationally, and suddenly the linebacker room transforms from a liability into a foundation. And when you consider what this front office is trying to build under Brian Schottenheimer, Allen fits perfectly into the culture shift. Disciplined, smart, relentless defenders who bring stability and identity to a unit that has been searching for both. Now picture the larger defensive vision. In this mock draft, Dallas also adds pass-rushing standout David Bailey at pick 16. Combine Bailey's edge explosiveness with Allen's interior command, and Dallas's already strong trio of Quinnen Williams, Osa Odighizuwa, and Kenny Clark, and the Cowboys would instantly possess one of the most promising young defensive fronts in the league. This isn't just filling gaps. This is constructing a new core, a new heartbeat, a new defensive identity capable of finally matching the firepower of Dak Prescott and the Dallas offense. C.J. Allen isn't just a great athlete. He's a tone setter, a communicator, a player who takes pride in doing the detail work, who treats every snap like a test. And those traits are exactly what win games in December and January, exactly what Dallas has been lacking, exactly what could elevate this team into a true contender again. Cowboys Nation, if this front office wants to reshape the future of this defense, if they want a leader in the middle who can bring stability and speed, if they want a linebacker capable of changing the complexion of games, then C.J. Allen is a player they cannot afford to ignore. Now it's your turn. Do you want C.J. Allen in a Cowboys uniform? Do you believe he's the missing piece in the second level? Could he be the next great Dallas linebacker in a franchise built on defensive pride? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe to Cowboys Nation Report so you never miss a moment as we break down every mock draft, every rumor, and every move shaping the future of America's team. Because the next chapter of this defense may begin with a Georgia linebacker ready to bring the fire back to Dallas.